Here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2. Student report with Kyle Nash. Recording this late night. Normally we do this our a little behind the scenes here. Normally we do our recordings for the podcast in the afternoon on Tuesdays, but
This is my fault this time. Like, my boss actually wanted me to do work during the day. WTF, mate?
no, but also it makes sense though. Like, hey, we had the between the trade deadline which ended after we would normally recorded, and of course playoff rankings. The first playoff rankings college football came out tonight. Is might as well react to it now. You know,
I mean, less credible entities like ESPN and the College Football Playoff Committee would have just said, "Oh yeah, it's a special. We're doing it late because this came out." No, we had lives and we decided to lean into it because it could be better for you guys this time.
Yeah, believe me, I would love to finish the podcast during the day so I can go to sleep early at night. But hey, you know what? Duty calls.
Then I laughed because you said duty.
Duty, yeah, duty. Let's start. Let's start first. College football first. Rankings are out. That's still pretty fresh. A couple hours old. And obviously we can go to 1 through 10, but I really want to focus on 1 through 6 real quick.
Okay, so we're gonna do this right now. Hold on, let me get ready. I got to do the dang thing here. Hold on. Okay.
Fucking like a 10-minute on the Hell Lot podcast with my boy Jim, Big Jim.
Well, I gotta like I said there. I gotta get in the right mentality.
Yeah. So let's through 1 through 6 real quick. Number 1, no surprise. No surprise. Number 2, Alabama. 3, Michigan State. 4, Oregon. 5, Ohio State. And number 6, Cincinnati. Rounding out the 10, number 7, I believe is Michigan. Number 8, Wake Forest. No, Oklahoma. Sorry, Oklahoma. Number 8, 9, Wake Forest. 10, Notre Dame. Now, that came out late. Number 1, obviously the 1 through 6, and I believe they got it correct on the 1 through 6 in terms of the actual teams in the bubble. The second narrative here is, man, the committee gave Oklahoma no love. Despite being unbeaten. And I love it because every credible person that knows what to talk about, has, including yourself and me, don't believe Oklahoma is that kind of it's a top 6 team right now.
Yeah.
Kyle, go ahead. You see.
Yeah. So first of all, I mean, I'll start with the positive. Just so I'm not griping the whole time. I can see plenty of reason for people to slam Notre Dame at 10, but they're more deserving of 10 than Wake Forest is of 9. However, Oklahoma at 8, in my opinion, might be the biggest success as far as actual correct placement on the top 25 here for the College Football Playoff Committee, right? And I say that much like you said, they're acknowledging that, hey, you're in a basketball conference and you're scraping by. That ain't gonna cut it. And because with the vast cavalcade there, take that, of teams that have that have screwed up, lacking a better word, losing to teams that they shouldn't, including at least one of your top 4. Notice how I said it, your top 4, E.J. Christian.
Yeah.
That is something that they took into consideration, and you know, this is the first moment I feel like we've gotten correct treatment of Oklahoma, and keeping them certainly out of the top 5 or 6, and getting them down a bit lower. It's right where it should be. They are right, where they should be, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'm with you there. The biggest takeaway of the night is that, number 1. All right, let's go top 6 real quick, because obviously that's really where all the meat is in this conversation. These are the teams that are closer to the action. As I said earlier, they got the 6 teams right. I know we debated this on the Huddle podcast earlier. We'll debate here also as well here. I had a lot of issue, you know, and I know you and I got a little bit into it a little bit. The reason why I like Oregon number 4, because 4 through 6 really was the biggest issue. We can debate Alabama number 2 and whatever, and you want to take them out 2 or 3, whatever. we had the debate. I personally, I'm not losing sleep over that shit.
Yeah, me neither. No, Alabama 2 does not bother me overall.
4 through 6 is a little more is where the real argument begins for me.
Is where the straight trash. What it is,
Right.
EJ Christian.
Right. So personally, I would prefer seeing Cincy 4, Oregon 5, Ohio State 6. Because the committee put Ohio State as high as they did, is why I defended Oregon at number 4. Because if you're going to put Ohio State that high, the head-to-head matchup they had earlier in the year, week 2, or week 2, week 3, whatever it was, has to cover something. Now, I'm assuming you are on the same boat as me in terms of Cincy should be in the top 4 or not.
Well, I'm in a different boat than somebody who tweeted. So the committee's top 4, I have little to no problem with. Oregon's will in Columbus has to count for something. By the way, that is Earnest EJ Christian. End of quote.
Oh shit!
Nicely done. Rip to the great Bob Uecker, by the way. Harry Doyle in Major League 2, a movie that was marked as required viewing on Hilarity by Default by myself, and the heretic Demosthenes Euclid, my good friend, said it was only recommended.
That up. Yeah, I love that episode you guys did on Major League.
Oh, sweet. Did you see Major League 2? Because I'll tell you, the episode was probably better than the movie. Anyways.
Yeah, you guys trashed it, especially Demos.
Yeah, well, I warned him not to watch it, and he still did anyway. I think he wanted to bash a movie, so he went ahead and took my advice.
Yeah.
Or ignored it, I should say. Anyway.
Right.
So, EJ Christian, you have said officially that you're okay with the top 4, or you have little to no problem with it. But here's my thing. And what the committee wants to tell you is, we have respect for their win over Notre Dame. And then they immediately ask the question, what else have they done? Now, Ernest Julius Christian, my question to you is, what has Ohio State done other than beat Penn State, a 5-3 team, I might add?
Nothing.
Okay. Nothing. And what is the marquee win on Oregon's schedule?
Ohio State.
So if you're okay, quote, if you have little to no problem, let me just get it right. If you have little to no problem with that heaping pile of bovine excrement, sir, continue watching basketball and give me the occasional go Heat, bitch. I don't want to hear from you on this topic. Okay? Sorry. I know that's harsh. I dunk on you on your show all the time. You are Sabonis and I am O'Neal. That is what it is. I'm Shaq, you're Sabonis. I'm going to dunk on you and push you to the ground. That's where you belong in this particular conversation.
Oh, jeez.
You're what? Now, that all being said, I will give, here's where the committee screwed up. Here's what they should have done. Let's say you want those 6 teams. I'm not prepared to sign off on that. I could probably make a pretty good case if I really wanted to. I just don't want to bad enough to put Oklahoma State in that conversation. But I ain't going to tell you there.
I mean, doing that, no.
Yeah, I mean, because let's be real. The real reason I'd be doing it is because of the nation's most fantastic mullet, hands down. Shouts to Mike Gundy.
Yes, sir.
If the committee wanted to do this right, they should have, by the way, I'm happy with where Michigan State is placed, and if you want them to, I'd be happy with that as well. I like where Michigan is at 7, right?
Mm-hmm.
All of those teams and Alabama are in a proper place in the event that they can play themselves in or out at that position, is how I'll put it, right? Which, by the way, if you want to tell me there's no preconceptions going into this, as the chair of the college football committee, Gary Barta, who, by the way, EJ, in case you might have been wondering what may have had an influence in Iowa being ranked so high for so long, he is in fact the athletic director of the University of Iowa. So there's that.
Interesting. Thickens, buddy.
Hey, Betty. So, and I assume, by the way, that he's the current one. I haven't looked it up officially, but for all the ones that are former somethings, they list them as former somethings. Like, for those that don't like Notre Dame at number 10, it lists one of the committee members as former Stanford and Notre Dame and Washington head coach Tyrone Willingham. Personally, I like Willingham, but that's a whole other question. Oh, and a former student athlete in Rod West, who's also listed as the Notre, having attended the University of Notre Dame. Anyways, didn't catch that on Big Jim's show. So if you watch the Huddle Up podcast and wonder why I did not include that there, now you'll know why. I just found it here on the Football is Awesome podcast here with my friend Earnest Christian.
Partners, of course. Yes.
Yes, you beat me to it, but hey, give yourself a ding.
Ding.
So at any rate, so if we don't have a real win, air quotes, and Cincinnati has a better marquee win combined with 0 losses to unranked teams, I need a better explanation than why they're 6. The committee should have put them at 4. And then if the other teams that they want in do their job, notice how I phrased that, EJ Christian, then give them the ability to climb the mountain rather than straight up friggin' dissing the G5 again. Right?
Right.
Because then what's gonna happen, like looking at the rankings, let's say, I don't know, like a Michigan. I'm not gonna say Wake Forest because they suck. I'm not even interested in the ACC. Let's say Michigan or Ohio State, whenever two. Like if somehow Jim Harbaugh wins the Ohio State game, we'll say one of those two Big Ten teams plays an undefeated Cincinnati team who wins the American Athletic Conference and remains undefeated, and they play in the NY6 Bowl as is precedent, right? Let's say all that happens and they beat that Big Ten team of Ohio State / Michigan. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a situation that UCF was in when they beat Auburn and then went on to recruit their head coach, and Gus Malzahn. If Cincinnati declares a national championship, everyone will get all pissed off at them that they shouldn't do that and all that. But EJ, at this point, my question is, what do you want these cats to do?
I think they're screwed.
Right.
I think they're screwed. I mean, I think the play was to put them in number 4 and to see what happens. Because I think now with everything else, because I think another situation too we're probably not going to consider is that let's say there is chaos on top from 1 through 6, but Oklahoma wins out. Oklahoma will get more look-sees.
Don't do this.
I don't want it to happen, but it's going to happen. The committee's going to do this.
So, and by the way, you said that Cincinnati got screwed, sir. If I might read the quote again, little to no problem with. If you have little to no problem with, how can anybody get screwed?
No, again, when I said it's for clarity, the top 6, the right teams in the 6 are correct. You can tinker the order, but looking at the dynamic of what's to come in November on the schedule, unless catastrophe happens, I just don't see Cincinnati cracks a 4 because at some point, Michigan State, Ohio State, Michigan, one of those 3 teams are going to crack the Big Ten. I mean, Oregon, as long as they don't fuck up the rest of the year, should be okay. They need help. They need a lot of help. And then and you still have the Oklahoma's in the world lurking in the background.
So let me tell you, Patriots fan, here's what you need to do. You've seen this episode. I misinterpreted the rules.
Right. Oh man.
I had a ball in each hand for those dunks. Anyway.
Yeah, you did. Ego. No, it's pretty exciting though. It's first playoff rankings of the year. It's exciting times.
By the way, if people are wondering why I'm partaking of the Maker's Mark, it's not. I mean, it is a prop, but I'm doing it to get in the proper frame of mind to look at the situation in a similar fashion to the College Football Playoff Committee. But I cannot get that effed up. I'm too fat.
moving on.
Kyle's fat. More than 11.
Yeah, more than one.
Hey,
Anyway,
listen, that's an offensive lineman in the background, sir. I can use, like, there's certain words you can use that I can't. Fat is my word. I'm an O lineman, okay?
my question, because we look at the schedule this coming week for college football, there isn't really any big games coming up.
Mhm.
So most of these teams should stay chalk this week.
Yeah.
Do you expect any movement next week for the rankings next Tuesday?
The movement I'm looking for is lower in the space. There's a lot of other teams that aren't getting the respect. Like you have too many ACC teams in this top 25 overall, and I'm not going to go nitpicky and waste your time with that.
Yeah.
I guess like, oh, we're going to put Fresno State in and San Diego State. Don't we love you guys? Even though the American Athletic Conference is better than the ACC this year,
They are.
We're going to waste our times with that. Yeah, let's make sure the Mountain West gets their representation. What the F? Anyways, your most famous program isn't even going to be in there in 2 years when Boise State moves up to the Big 12.
Right. No, I'm with you. So we'll see what happens. Like I said, there's really no really big top 25 team games going. These matchups this week. So we'll see where that goes. Okay.
By the way, I wonder what they're going to be talking about in College Game Day all damn day as they've scheduled that. What is it, Tulsa and Cincinnati this week on ESPN College Game Day, if I remember correctly. So yeah.
All right. Quickly before we get to two NFL things I want to get to. Number one, Von Miller traded to the Rams from the Broncos a day ago, 2 days ago, as recording it published. The Rams, number one this week in my rankings. They are tied for the best record in football right now. Von Miller still has some intent, I'm assuming. Where does this go for the Rams? Like, does this put them over the top as a Super Bowl favorite?
They were already pretty damn high. The concern, if there is one for me, is more their offense than their defense. That's right. I said it. I'm not one of these that's trying to schedule a lunch date with Sean McVay just so I can get an NFL job. I'm not saying he's a bad coach. I'm not saying he's the coach everybody wants you to believe. I'll still take Andy Reid, Bruce Arians, Bill Belichick, among others, over this guy. Let's not act like he's, hell, I'll take John Harbaugh over this guy. That's right. I said it. Okay. I heard. Wow. Yeah. This is a guy who's creating a team that kicks butt in the AFC and name their top receiver. Wait, you can't. The guy they drafted to be fast is out for the season because he got friggin' hurt. Okay.
I'm shocked that you don't have him in top 5.
Oh my.
McVay? No, not top 5. Certainly not.
Okay.
I just listed 5 there too, didn't I?
4, but
what did I say? Reid, Arians, McVay, Reid, Arians, Belichick.
You said Harbaugh. That's 4.
I said John Harbaugh. I'm sure I could.
Mike Tomlin.
Oh, boom! Hey, good call. Well done.
Like, there you go. Hey.
All right, that was a good kick out for me to hit the open jumper. Well done, Horace Grant style on that one, right at the top of the key. # better than Rodman. Anyways,
slow down.
What? That I want my scoring players to score, and
No. Better all-around player. I would say Horace Grant is. Yes, I agree with that.
Hey, 15 rebounds in double digits per game is better than 20 rebounds in single digits per game. That's all I'm saying.
Right.
Anyways, so
What can I say except you're welcome?
Oh, I loved that. Where the hell was I? You really got me with the Maui piece.
Von Miller.
Yes. I first saw this and I'm like, I thought Afro Man might have become the GM of Denver for a minute because someone had to get high for that, and I don't mean mile high, but or more than a mile high. Anyways, the punchline being, I look at the details and I'm like, wait, Denver's paying his salary? What the hell are you people doing? Oh, go on. I really like this concept that the Rams have acknowledged we don't really need picks as much right now. And Denver's like, we
And
need an ass ton of picks right now.
I saw next year they're gonna have only 3 picks in the draft next year. The Rams.
Name a spot that the Rams could upgrade.
I guess a running back? No, not really. I mean, they don't.
Henderson's amazing. I've had the opportunity to see him in person. He's not going to be your primary guy because you have Matt effing Stafford there with Cooper Kupp. I'm going to love it if Cooper Kupp can actually play a full season. I want to see his numbers blow up because you may remember, Ernest Christian, that a while back when we were doing the Student of the Game Report seasons back, there were rumors of the possibility of Stafford in San Francisco, and I was about it, as the children say, right?
Right.
So seeing this, I'm not a Jimmy Garoppolo hater, but I am at the same point saying, damn it. So, I'm not one of these 49er fans who's whining and complaining about every little move they make about a quarterback that just got to the Super Bowl 2 effing years ago.
Yeah.
Anyways, so the other reason why I love this trade is Von Miller. I don't care how much you think he has left in the tank, EJ. Add 2 more years to it. Because even the great Ray Lewis was pounding on the tables in Baltimore at one point once Sam Adams retired. You know what the position Sam Adams played by chance?
Was he tackle? No, not. Yeah.
He was a defensive tackle. Very good. Absolutely correct. So after he retired, I think for a year, maybe 2, Ray Lewis a little bit of an issue there, a little bit of a tougher time in this position. Whom did they draft shortly after that?
Is it Nata?
Haloti Ngata. Very good, EJ Christian, multiple-time Pro Bowler at the defensive tackle spot, and lo and behold, Ray Lewis was able to play as an immortal. Nearly Tom Brady length of time in the league.
Yeah.
At a position that takes a lot more damage, by the way, than don't hit Tommy. Meanwhile, you got linemen coming at you trying to go, yes, a juggernaut, bitch, but you can't do it because you can't get past Haloti Ngata. Now, if I'm Von Miller and I've got Aaron Donald in front of me, holy shnikes.
Yeah. Yeah. So they're definitely inched close. They definitely inched into favorite mode pretty much in the Super Bowl run. I agree with you there. Although I will say it is definitely 6 tiers. We'll get to this last topic here because we're going to talk about all locks. But to me, I think it's really 6 teams right now who are, if we're going by tiers right now, who are Super Bowl favorites. It's 6 teams in my opinion. I have based on rankings too: Bills, Bucks, Cowboys, Packers, Cardinals, and Rams. In no order, of course. Just
in no order, yes, but you still kind of insult me with at least 2 factors in your teams there.
What is it?
The first one is, where the F are the Baltimore Ravens, you hater-ass hater?
They are on the cusp.
Cusp these nuts. Anyway, and I feel compelled, EJ. I don't often stir up trouble like some of your completely ignorant of football Facebook friends.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I said it.
You did say
it. But I did stir a bit of a nest. One of them took issue with your analysis of the Cowboys.
Right.
And you as a Patriots fan, it's perfectly legitimate for you to comment on the Cowboys. You're allowed to have opinions about other teams, just not your rivals. It's not like you're giving the Dolphins or the Jets or the Bills that much props, So not a damn thing. You're starting to get numb to it. So you had mentioned that you think the Cowboys are a Super Bowl caliber team. Now, EJ, my question to you is this. Here's the analogy I'm going to go with. Who's your favorite Super Bowl, EJ Christian? Let the people know a little bit about you.
Hero, Batman.
Batman. Can you pick somebody other than Batman, please?
Jeez.
Because Batman's not the best example that fits my story. I kind of faked it on the Huddle Up podcast with Big Jim.
Well, let me go with Marvel. Let me go with the Marvel character here.
Sure.
This is Thor.
Thor. Great. Okay, I can work with Thor.
Take my top 3.
Who's the third guy?
You got Thor. You got Hulk.
Thor, Hulk, and Batman. Are you talking top 30 Marvel? I mean, like,
Marvel here, because Batman's my favorite. Batman's my favorite one. Period.
Yeah, okay. But we'll go with Thor. Thor is very appropriate.
Okay, good.
Now, Thor, to open the movie, the first movie, that made me feel very uncomfortable as I watched the way my wife looked at Chris Hemsworth. Not that I blame her. I mean, listen, that's a beautiful man. I have no problem saying.
Guy, dude.
But the Cowboys are in that current state of Thor trying to be able to earn the right to bear Mjolnir, possibly, or as he should. I shouldn't say possibly, completely, right? I got Mjolnir right, and then I screw up that other word. How does that work? Anyways, he was definitely able to expose the ice giants in the battle at the beginning of that movie in the MCU, right? Just like the Cowboys this past weekend turned the Vikings into a Janet Jackson halftime show and exposed them. Now, granted, we weren't surprised by that because Kirk Cousins did Kirk Cousins things, kind of like Tom Brady did Tom Brady things against the Saints. Anyways, hashtag don't tweet during games.
Hey, calm down.
Sorry, I'm going after your former quarterback. My bad. Man, you and I need to play volleyball together sometime because I would get tired having to jump up and do all these spikes. You just keep setting them up.
You get tired of picking on me?
You make it so easy, boy.
I do sometimes. I can't lie.
I mean, but I mean, and you know, listen, they've done plenty of good for Asgard in showing the evil and revealing the Loki that is Sam Darnold and the Carolina Panthers.
Right.
But at this point, I don't see this Cowboys team. They need to show me a Dark Elf or a Thanos that's worth actual battle, like or a Captain Marvel if you watch What If, you know.
Right.
And without that performance, I can't sign off on that yet. And listen, they got a lot of elements. This is a different team. You're not wrong. I had them as likely sacrificial lambs in the first round of the playoffs coming out of the NFC least. And now I'm confident they're going to win 2 playoff games at this rate, unless they come across Aaron Charlie Rodgers. That'll be a challenge. But who knows? Maybe Dak can overcome, having learned from the first time when he did his damn job and Rodgers went all Rodgers. But I digress.
Right.
This is a good team. Them as a NFC Championship candidate is undeniable. I mean, anybody who sniffs the top 4 in a conference, you certainly have to say that. Because math. Super Bowl? I'm just not there yet. You're telling me that they're going to beat some combination of Bruce Arians, Sean McVay, or Cliff Kingsbury isn't the best coach in this conversation, but a team as stacked as the Cardinals, which for all intents and purposes, really, you know, people talk about how great Aaron Charlie Rodgers played and overcame all the team's group of people they were missing, including Devontae Adams. But, you know, let's also not forget how stacked that offense is. And the biggest problem they have is, you know, my dude out for the year with shoulder surgery, right? You know, so I'm just not there yet. I don't see them lasting through all of that to represent in the Super Bowl against Baltimore. I don't see that happening.
So this is a great segue because our last topic here, we're going to talk about the we do some show off. Then we do definitely do a lot more toward the end of the year. We'll do it again. It's been about a month since we did this. Our locks right now, playoff locks. If the playoffs start today, we're now week 9. Okay, we're halfway through the year.
Mm-hmm.
If the playoffs start today, right now, the division winners right now would be the Green Bay Packers in the North. You have the Arizona Cardinals right now, currently in the West. The Dallas Cowboys in the East. No surprise there because you know the East sucks.
Right.
And the Buccaneers in the South. And right now, your playoff 3, wild card 3 right now, of course, the Rams as the 5 seed, the Saints as the 6 seed, and right now the Carolina Panthers are the 7 seed in the NFC wild card race. Now, obviously, got a lot of football to be played, but what holes here? What are the locks here?
Okay, so are you saying locks as far as just them winning their division, or are you talking about their actual seeding?
Well, both. You could do locks in the division and who are the locks in the playoff,
Oh, okay, gotcha.
or both.
See, we've
Yeah.
done that before in the past. I did that more for the people at home.
Right.
I'm going to maintain that the Cowboys are a lock. That's going to happen.
Yes.
They are going to make the playoffs. They are going to represent the NFC least. I'm in no position to lock neither the Cardinals nor the Rams. Even though I think both of them will make the playoffs, you're asking me to decide right now who's going to win that division. I can't. I am not. Listen, you're the knee-jerk specialist on this show, not me. Okay, that's not how I roll.
Right.
I mean, hell, even in the Rams, I'll say this for the Rams. If you were forcing me to lock right now, the reason why I would pick the Rams is because of their conference record. The Cardinals are currently 2 half games back because the Rams have won 5 NFC games where the Cardinals have only won 3 so far for that particular tiebreak. They're both currently tied at 7-1, by the way, which is why I go there. I picked the Saints to make the playoffs anyway.
Regardless of the quarterback situation.
Right. And yeah, listen, Trevor Siemian, I think you and I both have enough faith in Sean McVay to kind of will them to the playoffs because we've said in the past of the AFC, EJ Christian, this year the NFC is really damn top heavy.
Question.
Yeah. At this point, I can't pick the Panthers confidently, but gosh, I mean, who's going to pass them at this rate? Like the Niners, the Bears, ew, the Eagles. Oh God, all that is gross. Rusty has actually a chance to come back and will them into the playoffs.
Yes.
And have me tell the world once again, I told you bitches, you should have voted an MVP a number of times, that kind of thing. So
it's safe to say that the division winners we have right now currently outside Arizona are all locks.
Yeah, I'll lock the Bucks, I'll lock the Cowboys, I'll definitely lock the Pack. You're right.
The Cardinals are either or. If you don't get the division, they'll get the wild card no matter how you slice it.
That's correct. Again, back to that top heavy statement, right?
I honestly am not ready to lock in the Saints, although I trust Sean Payton.
But that's fair. But because the competition is so lacking, I feel compelled.
Yeah. I'm with
you. It wouldn't be the first time I've been more bold than you and absolutely correct on your show. So
right, true. All right, AFC. This is a little more interesting, in my opinion. AFC.
Oh, tons more.
So right now, if the playoffs started today, by the way, breaking news: the Atlanta Braves won the World Series. Fourth World Series.
Oh, good. It was the Braves with the cheaters, and the Braves won. Yay.
Well, Braves, not a bad team. I know I'm a Mets fan. If the playoffs started today, here's the division winners right now currently. Right now, the Tennessee Titans have the best record in the AFC 2 right now by 6-2, and also lead the AFC South right now.
And by the way, Tennessee fans, the reason why that's happening is because your schedule's complete damn garbage.
Correct.
Okay? If you didn't play the NFC West, you'd have no difficult teams on your schedule, and don't throw Indianapolis at me.
Right. The Baltimore Ravens are leading the AFC North. Las Vegas Raiders currently lead the AFC West, and the Buffalo Bills currently lead the AFC East. Right now, your wild cards at the playoffs today are the Cincinnati Bengals, who are the 5 seed, the Pittsburgh Steelers are the 6 seed, and the Los Angeles Chargers are the 7 seed. By the way, the Patriots are only half a game behind the Chargers for the 7 seed as well too.
Yeah.
Obviously this is a little interesting. Locks wise, I can only give you one lock on my end. I'll have you go. The Buffalo Bills. I'll have you go first, though.
I'll agree with the Bills on the lock. I, too, despite the Derrick Henry departure, am forced and compelled to say that the Titans, with 3 games up in the division, they are a lock in the AFC South.
And 4 if you count the tiebreaker.
Yeah. Have they swept them?
Yeah, they did.
Oh, they sure did. You're right, buddy.
Yep.
Bing! Yeah. So
just
as I predicted back in late August, early September, the Titans will win the AFC South. If you don't believe me, check out my AFC South preview on the 3pointconversion.com. Bing! That's the number 3, not the word 3. Thank you, sir. So yeah, I'm gonna leave the Titans there, especially now that you had the tiebreak. I like the story with the Bengals, but at the end of the day, I'm going to call the Ravens a lock still, and I'm more than happy to be wrong about it.
Okay.
Am I doing that mostly because of the consistency of my prediction? Yes. But yeah, I have 3 locks for division winners here. The wild cards are a cluster, my dude. I will lock the Bengals as a playoff team, which feels weird, but I'm going to do it. I want the right reserved, though, that in the event of a Joe Burrow injury, that I can rescind my lock. Yeah. Carson Wentz throwing interceptions and delivering a bad play regularly. I'm not feeling him. The Chargers with Justin Herbert today are more reliable than the Chiefs. But and somewhere in here, the Patriots are lurking, which is mind blowing too. I'm not locking anybody else after that. This is crazy.
I'm literally locking one team. Tennessee, they have a 4-game lead. That might be close to a lock. The schedule, I will say, for the Colts and for the Titans the next couple of weeks, Titans schedule a little tough without Derrick Henry. Colts get a little easier. Colts been playing really good football. Should have won last week. So though they're 4 games behind, that's a big lead in the NFL. There was enough time to make up the ground, and the schedule also helps it too. But they literally have to make up the ground the next 2 weeks, 2-3 weeks.
Something I would remind you, sir, that the Titans do still have the Jacksonville Jaguars one more time among a lot of other easier games. Also, the second game against the Texans is only 3 weeks out. So they have 2 tough games coming up, I'll grant you. But at day's end, it's not enough to make a difference. And listen, there have been teams that have made it to the Super Bowl on the strength of a weak-ass schedule. That is how Rex Grossman made it to the Super Bowl, to eventually get annihilated by the Indianapolis Colts under Peyton Manning.
I'm not ready to lock any wildcard teams for one reason. Because even though the Bengals, Steelers, and Chargers are the current wildcard teams right now, you still have the Patriots lurking. The Chiefs, if they decide to turn around, obviously there's issues there, but they only have game back in the wild card, and they still, you have to give them the leniency to say, they could all of a sudden figure it out and win 5 in a row because they have that quarterback, they have that team. Now, obviously, are they a Super Bowl team right now? No, but can they get as a wild card and even win the division? Yeah, I can still see it.
Yeah, I obviously have 4 locks. I'm apparently, what is it? I said Bills, Titans,
Ravens.
And
that's it.
Ravens.
Ravens.
Titans. Right. Bills, Titans, Ravens.
That is,
and I think
Bengals.
the Bengals are going to make the playoffs. Yeah.
If the Bengals win this weekend against the Browns, I'm sold on the Bengals as a playoff team, lock wise. Because
okay, so you'll be locking next week. That's cool.
Right, because here's the thing. You lose to the Jets. Okay, how do you bounce back from this loss? Show me next week, and then we can talk.
And if I could tell you this too, buddy, like I haven't checked the stats to see if Joe Burrow had any turnovers or anything. But here's what I can tell you: you scored 31 points. You did what the kids would say is your damn job. Okay. So, at this juncture, this isn't something that's going to happen often, is what I'm saying, right? Like, you just know. Like, they're going to beat the Browns. I'm very confident of that.
I am too.
I'm sure I'll get random Brown fan tweeting me, oh, look at that, whatever. Durka, right. Joe Burrow did have an interception in a game where he threw 3 touchdowns, and they had a 4th from Joe Mixon on the ground. I mean, listen, here's what happened. Mike White had no film. That's what happened, point blank.
Yeah. And we'll revisit these locks again probably around Thanksgiving weekend, and then from there go week to week after that, because like right now we're at the halfway point of the year, and it's getting interesting now. This has been a very fascinating season, and it's going to get even more fascinating as we go down these next 2 months of the season. So, we'll let you go. Plug away. you got going on because you're a busy man these days.
Amen, definitely. Listen, first of all, honor, joy, and privilege to be with you here again on the Earnestly Speaking podcast, even though you still have the Take 3 background out, you son of a bitch.
Yeah.
I advertise better than you. You better have that bell ready. I'm not your buddy, guy. Don't
be rude.
China. Well, I did that as a wrestling reference. Anyways. Of course, I'm Kyle Nash, the student of the game. You can find me on Twitter at the SOTG. Find me on Instagram as the same, the SOTG. Find me on Facebook as the student of the game. Check me out on the3pointconversion.com. That is the number 3, not the letter 3. My work with the UCF Knights and the Jacksonville Jaguars. I'll actually be in Jacksonville this weekend to observe your Buffalo Bills, or rather your bitter rival Buffalo Bills that are Patriots fan, and see if they're really that scary for you.
Don't be rude.
Too late. Of course, you can see my work also with my good friend Demosthenes Euclid on Hilarity by Default as we talk about movies and what is required viewing and what isn't, and that sort of thing. EJ still takes the time to watch a video instead of listening on a podcast, so that should tell you that it's a great time.
Yes.
And, of course, check out my work with the Captain and Company Morning Show and A7B in Sports with oldschoolwoodworld.com, my friend Captain Chris Hill. EJ Christian, pulling a late shift.
Yeah.
Get one more sip so I could rest well tonight.
You sure you're not drunk?
I'm too fat for that. We've been over this. Anyways, until next time, everyone, class dismissed.
Yeah. Good job, man.